Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over the water to Copenhagen in Denmark once again, and we're going to revisit one of my favourite craft breweries from here in Scandinavia. So you've seen me review a number of their beers before. We're going to return to Tornbo in Copenhagen and have another look at a beer from Amager Bryghus. This one, it was only released within the last 3 or 4 weeks actually. It's called the Bastard Princess. It's a New England style IPA. It comes in at 6% ABV and it's rated 93 overall on Rate Beer, 94 within the style if I'm not mistaken. I think they did release this beer as a keg only over Christmas time or something like this, but it only appeared in bottles within the last few weeks. But I'm really looking forward to trying this one. As far as I know, this is Amager's first take on the New England style of IPA. I may be wrong on that, but as far as I know that's the case. But it should be a really nice one, and you guys know I really love reviewing the Amager beers for you, so I hope you guys enjoy this review as well. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, of course, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews I've done from Amager Bryghus before. You can look forward to more of those in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city, state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Danish beers that I've reviewed for you before. And as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries you guys would like to see me review. Always interesting to hear from you guys. Do let me know some of the other Danish breweries I might not have heard of before, because I know you guys have got some really awesome stuff, but it's always great to hear from you guys, so don't hesitate to get in touch through the Twitter, Untappd and all these sorts of things. You've got some great things to say and your support is always hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Amager Bryghus once again then. So as I've told you before, Amager Bryghus are based in Kastrup in Copenhagen, actually very close to the airport and just a short walk away from the Tornbo train station, of course. But these guys are probably one of the best known Danish craft breweries outside of the likes of Mikkeller and Toil, and of course these guys do actually brew their beers in Denmark. So the brewery was established in April 2007 by two young friends, Morten Valentin Lundsbak and Jakob Storm, who were both really quite avid home brewers and just loved everything about beer. But apparently their love of beer started in school when the pair were forced to do a chemistry and physics project together, and they decided to write about the fermentation process that went on in beers, and that was them hooked for life. They've been over to California and tried all of these beers and things over there, but they do some really damn awesome stuff. So as I said to you, the brewery are located in Tornbo in the southern part of the city of Copenhagen, and they've been constantly expanding over the last few years. From what I understand, their brewery is actually like a kind of renovated nuclear fallout shelter, so I do need to get over there and do a Meet the Brewer review with them at some point soon and have a look at it. It's meant to be a really interesting place, and like I said before, these guys are a very, very highly rated brewery. They're consistently ranked in the top 100 brewers in the world on Rate Beer, and that's no mean feat, of course, if you think about all the other brewers that are out there. But these guys produce some awesome stuff. The best beers I've had from these guys have been the IPAs, but that said, every kind of imperial stout and porter and things I've had from them as well have been really good, but they do seem to produce more IPAs than they do darker beers actually. So give them a go. They do some awesome stuff. Pretty much just pick a style of beer that you like, and I'm pretty sure when it comes to Amager Bryghus you will enjoy it. So have a look at their website, see what other beers they've got, and they do some great stuff, so make sure you try them. But anyway, that's enough about the brewery just now. You can check out my other reviews as well on the website in the description below. Do make sure you check out all the links there, of course, but let's get on to the tasting of this beer itself. So it says on the side here, throughout history, Danish kings have been known for two things. One, a strange desire to declare war on far superior enemies. Two, a libido even exceeding their lust for power and cannonballs. One king had such success in the crown canopy bed that his many sons and daughters at one point were happily installed as kings, princes and princesses at royal court all over Europe. However, this particular king couldn't keep his royal pecker in his pants, so he continued to spread his royal seed with court servants and kitchen maids. Every so often this royal fornication would lead to the birth of a bastard child with half royal genes. The mother would then secretly be expelled from the court for being a shrewd temptress. This beer, the Bastard Princess, is named after just such a fourth generation royal bastard whose noble ancestry was a well kept family secret for many years. But why hide the fact that you have royal blood in your veins, even if you are indeed just a bastard? So yeah, that's quite cool actually. I'll just let you see the artwork on this one. I always love the Amager Bryghus artwork. Let me just find my cursor wherever it's gone. There we are. So there you can see, there's the Bastard Princess just chilling on the kind of throne there. Really love this, the artwork they've put on these guys. She's got a little cat there and she's doing her makeup and things like that. There you can see it. There's the Amager Bryghus symbol on the bottle cap there. That's also on the bottle down here, and there of course is the little blurb that I've just read to you. So this one, the stats of this beer, as I mentioned to you, it's a 6% New England style IPA. I'll just get the hops for you. So this one has Columbus, Simcoe and Citra with a malt base of Pilsner, wheat and caramels, and it uses a UK ale yeast strain as well, which is quite interesting actually. I thought they would have maybe used a US ale yeast strain for this one, but that should turn out quite interesting. Like I said to you, as far as I know, this is their first go or first release of a New England style IPA. This one is batch number 1536, of course. Batch number 1000, of course, is probably the best beer that I've actually had from Amager Bryghus. That one really was amazing, and all their other beers are pretty good as well. So yeah, without further ado then, let's get this guy open and we'll get on with the tasting then. Really looking forward to this one. There's been a lot of fuss around these kind of New England style IPAs of late, and I'm really excited to try Amager Bryghus' one, because like I've said to you, they do some really awesome beers, and you can smell some of these nice citra notes coming off this as you open up. The citra hop to me just completely jumped out there. It's one thing I'm actually noticing about this one, with the hop profile that it has, it's actually some of the more old school hops that are actually in this one in comparison to the likes of Mosaic and Azaka and things that a lot of people are using, but it should still be really nice. So as you can see, this beer's poured a really nice kind of bright yellow colour, this one. I think it's, yeah, there's a little bit of an orange tint to it in the middle, but really it's a bright golden yellowy colour. There's a lot of sediment visible in this one, quite a few little bubbles just sitting there around the glass, quite a few big ones sticking towards the side of the glass and a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of that head there. There's a half finger of a frothy cream white head on this one, probably pure white rather than cream white actually, but it looks very nice. If I put my fingers behind the glass there, you can see there's not really any transparency to this beer at all. It is almost completely opaque in colour, but it looks very nice, and I can smell these lovely fruits on it. So let's have a closer look at the aroma then and see how we get on. Oh yeah, that's really quite nice. So it's got the big juicy fruity character that you would expect of one of these New England style IPAs. For me, it's the passion fruit that's coming out of this one quite a bit. That of course is the Simcoe. The Simcoe in this one really starts to jump out, to be honest with you, those lovely kind of passion fruit notes. You can also get the nice mangoes that come from the citra. The citra hop of course always gives you that nice mango base, and then a lot of the lighter tropical fruits. And you can pick those up in the aroma of this one as well. There's a sort of peachy kind of apricot thing going on with this one. You can smell the sort of lychees and almost gooseberry notes coming out of it as well. There's not so much in the way of a citrus from this one, which normally you would associate with the Columbus. The Columbus is a really strong kind of citrusy hop. Usually gives you a big floral kind of spicy character and some citrus. But I'm not getting too much of that in this one. For me, the aroma is definitely leaning towards the passion fruit that you get from the Simcoe, and also from the citra hops. I'm guessing they are the ones that it's been dry hopped with, of course. But it does smell really quite nice. Columbus, of course, is more of a bittering hop, I think, rather than a sort of dry hop or aroma hop. But yeah, it's a really nice aroma, this one. So underneath the hops, of course, you can pick out a little bit of that nice kind of bready, almost, yeah, it's a sort of bready, even slightly creamy note coming out of this one. Doesn't quite have the same lactose note, but there is a bit of that sweetness in there, almost that milky, not quite milky, but there is a sort of kind of sweetness to this one coming out. There's some sweet biscuity character, not quite caramel, but more of a white bready sort of thing. Maybe even a little bit of wheaty character in there as well. It did say there was wheat malt in it, of course, but it does smell quite sweet underneath. You can get a good bit of floral character in there as well, but not quite spicy, just a sort of plain up floral kind of grassy sort of thing coming out of this one. But it does smell really quite nice. You always get a good nose from these Amager beers, so do make sure you spend a little bit of time and just enjoy the aroma of them before you get stuck in. These guys, as I say, do some damn good IPAs. But I'm really excited to try this one, so let's get stuck into it then. So this one is the Bastard Princess from Amager Bryghus over in Kastrup in Copenhagen. Really looking forward to this one. Skål. Ooh, now that's pretty damn nice. It's different from the other ones that I've had in the style. This one, to me, on first impression, it really comes across as more of a juicy example of the style. It doesn't quite have the same level of IBUs that I've come across when some of the other ones, of course. The big beers in Scandinavia at the moment that are in this kind of category. It's the Amazing Haze, the Narangi, the GBG Beer Week. Of course, Brewski are doing some of these, the Conan Double IPA. This one's different from all of them just because it's a little bit more juicy, and it really works. It really is nicely done, this beer. It's got a lovely balance in the flavour. And this one, to be fair to it, it does have a nice big bitterness to it. But it just, for me, really, it leans more towards the juicy, kind of fruity side of things. So it's a nice kind of change of pace, actually. I really do like it in that regard. But just be aware of this one, if you're expecting a big kind of hoppy blast with this one does lean more towards the kind of juicy side of things. It has got a nice, almost sessionable quality about it, this one. It's 6% right enough, but it does come across to me as a more kind of sessionable New England style IPA, just because of that juicy factor that it has. So yeah, on the malty side of things, it has everything you'd expect. You know, there's a nice sort of bready base to this one. It goes right across the middle of the palate there. You can feel the sort of sweetness from the wheat there, the sort of pale bready character just built, it just kind of feels it makes the linchpin of the beer, I guess you would say. And on top of that, you've got some of this nice sort of wheaty, that smooth wheaty character, and you can feel a little bit of the biscuity sweetness that I guess will be coming from the Carapils malt. You can just feel that in the middle of your palate. There's a little grainy, sort of digestive-y biscuit thing, although it is a little bit sweeter than digestive biscuits, I would say. It does have a little bit more of sweet quality to it. And of course the hoppy side is where this beer starts to get interesting. So yeah, around the edge of your palate, there's a really nice, you can feel some of the nice hoppy bitterness to this one. There's a teeny bit of earthiness in the back corner of the palate, just very small. But as you come further forward, you can feel the sort of light, kind of nice floral character just coming out of this one. It's actually quite light. I mean, I always expect Columbus just to be a little bit more kind of bitter than that. But like I say, again, this is the kind of quirk to this beer, is that it leans towards the juicy side of things. But as you come further forward on the sides of your palate, you get those nice kind of floral notes coming out of this beer. It's got, you can detect where the spice is there, but it does feel that it's a little bit suppressed. And around the front curve of the palate, you've got that nice kind of light, juicy, sort of that almost just lighter, very light, grassy and slightly citrusy mouthfeel, or flavour, sorry, around the very front curve of your palate. So it has everything you'd expect on that front. Well, if you just go behind the front curve of the palate there, that's where you get this little oily bubble where all the fruity esters come out in this one. So with this one, it's quite interesting. I'm getting, in the aftertaste, as you progress into the aftertaste, the thing that really lingers is a little bit of that sweetness from the wheaty character of the beer. There's some nice floral aspects to it on the side of your palate. The grassiness kind of lingers too. But for me, it's these lighter kind of tropical fruits from the citra hop that are kind of lingering there. I'm getting a little bit of the lychees and kind of gooseberry thing in there. Maybe you can feel a little bit the slightly stronger flavour, kind of peaches and apricots as well. You can just feel that sitting in that little bit behind the front curve of your tongue there. But in the beginning of the flavour, for me, it's distinctively more passion fruity, and sort of, there's a good bit of mango in there as well, actually. Yeah, I would say that about this one. For me, it's definitely more a kind of mango-y and passion fruity flavour in the beginning, and then it's strange because it almost just clicks like this, and then you move from having those rich kind of oily mangoes and passion fruit just into something that's a little bit lighter, and that's when you start to get these really light kind of tropical flavours. I was talking about the peaches, apricots, the lychees, the gooseberry sort of things, and then the floral character starts to push its way out as well. And as you progress, I'm finding that as my mouth adjusts to this beer, I'm starting to get more and more of that slightly spicy bitterness that you'd associate with the Columbus hop as well. So it's really interesting, this one. For me, it deserves the rating it's got. I would maybe even be tempted to rate it a little bit higher on Rate Beer. Maybe sort of, I think this is a sort of 95, 96 beer, maybe 97, somewhere around that. But for me, it's really interesting because I do like beers, and I've said this with West Coast IPAs as well. I do like it when there's a nice balance between the malty sweetness and the hoppiness. And some of these beers, they just go all out for bitterness. But for me here, Amager have really, they've managed to get that good balance. I mean, they did it with the Batch 1000 is more of a West Coast IPA, but even though it was a big hoppy beast, that's one of the most bitter beers I can think of that I've reviewed actually, they still managed to find that nice kind of malty sweetness. And some of the other beers that I've tried within this kind of New England style IPA, they do maybe lean just a little bit more towards the hops without with forgetting the malt base a little bit, and that's what I like about this one, is that it does have that balance. And for me, that's what Amager really get right with their IPAs. That's why I kind of enjoy their IPAs so much, actually, and that's just to my palate. Of course, everyone has a slightly different palate. Beer is always subjective. People enjoy different things, so just take these kind of things with a pinch of salt. But for me, this is a really quite good beer. In terms of the New England style of IPA, like I've repeated in this video, it is a slightly more juicy and kind of a balanced one than some of the other ones you're going to come across, and for me, it really hits the spot. In terms of the mouthfeel, I would say this guy is kind of mid-bodied. It's sort of in the mid-range. I always find these New England IPAs to be a little bit heavier than a West Coast IPA, just because of the sort of lactosey mouthfeel. As far as I know, though, this beer doesn't actually have lactose added to the brew right enough. It doesn't say that on the ingredients on the side. But for me, this is a mid-bodied beer. The carbonation is very soft. It's got that typical kind of smooth, slightly oily but also slightly creamy mouthfeel to it. There is a good bit of hoppy bitterness to this one, but it does come out a little bit more in the aftertaste, and it's not quite as bitter as some other examples you're going to come across within this style. There's a good bit of juicy fruity character to this one, and the malt base is both smooth and it also has a little bit of sweetness to it. But overall, for me, it's a really quite good beer, and I would recommend you try this one if you like the West Coast. If you like your West Coast IPAs, to have a sort of good balance between the malt and the hoppiness, then you're going to enjoy this one if you like the sort of East Coast lactosey malt base that you have. That's what's really the kind of key to these sort of New England style IPAs, and for me, Amager have kind of I've hit the nail on the head with this one. They've got a very good balance to it, although it isn't quite as hoppy and bitter as some of you guys might like. But for me, it's a really solid beer that kind of suits my palate quite nicely. So yeah, it's been really cool to review this one for you. The Bastard Princess, a really nice kind of a slightly more easygoing New England style IPA, I would guess. I think that's a good way to sum up this one. It's a slightly more sessionable and less bitter one, actually, but a very good beer. Another one I wouldn't expect anything less from Amager Bryghus, of course, but it's been really cool to try this one for you, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. There will be more Amager reviews coming up for you in the very near future, of course. But yeah, thank you once again for watching. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Been really cool to review another Amager Bryghus beer for you. Do let me know your own thoughts on this one in the comment section below, and until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do make sure you check out my social media, and make sure you try some of these Amager beers if you haven't already. Batch 1000 is an awesome beer if you get the chance to try it, but pretty much any of the beers. Pick a style that you like, and I'm sure you will think it's a pretty damn good beer. So until the next time, Slangy just now, and I will catch you very soon. The Bastard Princess, a New England style IPA from Amager Bryghus over in Kastrup in Copenhagen. Skål.